Hello. How is it going, everyone? Let me get things all mixed up on my end here. There we go. Hello, hello, hello. How's it going, folks? It is good to be back on YouTube, isn't it? Finally got all that MCN stuff sorted out, I think. Pretty sure. Pretty confident. Now that I'm seeing revenue reports happening on the Google AdSense account, even though it's not fully updating on YouTube. It's updating in the beta version of YouTube, but it's not updating in the classic version. It's weird. I don't know, but I talked to YouTube today, and they swear that any money I am making right now on YouTube is going to me. It is not being split by my MCN. They are not connected to my account in any possible way. So that's good news. So that thing about the MCN earlier, sweet, it's taken care of. That means we are full go for content. I wouldn't be streaming right now if that was the case, because I wouldn't want you guys to super chat and then have money go to the MCN when I'm not part of an MCN anymore. So here we are. How you guys doing? Let's say hi to everyone in the chat. Remember, we are live on Mixer as well. I think it's cool if you guys go follow over on Mixer, because in the future, game streams will be exclusively on Mixer, say the very first one we do. So the very first game stream will be here on YouTube and on Mixer at the same time. But then all future game streams will just be on Mixer. All the talk shows, the Q&As, all that stuff, that's going to continue to be here on both things. So you can kind of look at the game streams as kind of like this side project. I also, because of notification reasons on YouTube, it's also nice to kind of keep the game streams separate if I happen to do, 2 or 3 of those per week or so they don't take up a notification on YouTube. But it's okay. I'm just kind of looking to diversify a little bit, right? That's kind of my whole thing with Mixer. Our Twitch technically still exists, but I haven't had any success on Twitch really in like the 3 years we've been on there. So I figured, what's it hurt to try out Mixer? And I think we got like 16 followers already over on Mixer, which is a pretty decent start. So hopefully we can keep that going. We can talk about Disney Plus if you would like. Let me. By the way, I don't even know all the news about Disney Plus. There's so many shows that were announced today. It's insane. So first off, let me just shout out everyone who's here, who said something in the chat. We got Segwin, the Pikachu fan. Morrison22 is here as well. Ultra Moon Trainer. Callum Henderson. Sweet Life of Dio Brando. Zane Parker. KY. Are you related to KY Jelly? There's our first inappropriate joke of the night. Ashton Fire Falcon XB is here. Summer Link. Sonic Man the Best. Javeep89. Brennan Stryker. Joe Prasco. Let's see here. Trax Zero is here as well. Mercurius. Right? Did I say that name right? I don't think I've seen you at a stream before. Welcome. Dylan Jarvie is here as well. Just got Majora's Mask for the first time. Man, enjoy that journey. The first time through Majora's Mask is the best time. I'm telling you right now. It'll be a little frustrating at times, but I think you're gonna really enjoy it. All right. Zach Karinsky is here. Hey, Dad, welcome home. How was 7-Eleven? 7-Eleven? Is that supposed to mean something to me? I mean, I know isn't there like a gas station called 7-Eleven? I don't know. It's not in my area, but all right. Hopefully everything's good. I know I might not be perfectly crystal clear right now. My camera isn't on its ideal settings. I got to do some adjusting on that. Right now it's on the 1080p, but it's having a hard time focusing at 1080p. But when I switch it to 4K, suddenly it focuses. I don't know, but I'm not going to mess with it right now. We're just going to go with what we got and live with it. I know I don't look the greatest either. I didn't really get all dressed up or anything for this stream. I don't know how long the stream is going to be. It's going to be however long I decide it's going to be. It could be an hour, it could be 2. Who knows? We're just going to kind of fly by the seat of our pants. Did you guys enjoy my video? Who saw my video today? I mean, show of hands in the chat if you guys saw the video I put up today about a Nintendo Direct in September. I'm pretty pumped about that, to be honest. It's a great way to get back into this whole YouTube thing, is knowing that there's a Nintendo Direct on the horizon. and being pretty pumped for that. Let's see here. Some other people are saying, I think it's a gas station. Yeah, 7-Eleven is a gas station for sure. I like your video. Can't wait for the next direct. Nice. McCurry saw the video. Cool. Simon hasn't watched it yet. You were doing your live stream for 7 hours. Nice. I haven't done a 7-hour live stream, I don't think, since like the launch of Switch. We did like a Breath of the Wild. Really, we did a whole bunch. We streamed like 18 out of the first 30 hours that game was out. That was pretty crazy. Zane Parker, what would you say if someone says your mom is gay? Well, here's the thing. My mom can't technically, like, I mean, I guess she could be gay, but, I mean, she had children, and she's still married to a man, so it'd be a factually untrue statement. I mean, am I supposed to get mad about it? Joe Prosco, I saw it. I assume the rebranding will be discussed. I mean, if you guys want to talk about it, it's a Q&A. So whatever you guys want to talk about will be what we talk about. Let's see here. Sans, Charlie, Lola, 1234, welcome. Says, keep up the amazing work. I hope to keep up the amazing work. I hope that you guys think the work is amazing. I have no idea if you guys do. I know I'm a little disappointed that I don't have whatchamacallit going right now. Prime News. I miss making Prime News episodes. I'm just gonna be honest with you guys. I miss it. I just can't commit to it right now. But hopefully I can get something sorted out here soon. Did I read about the Capcom store? No, I did not. I am way out of loop on news. So you could just assume I don't know any of the news. Because if I did, I would have reported on it. So just assume I know nothing. Did I check out the Dragon Quest demo? I couldn't check out the Dragon Quest demo even if I wanted to. You can check out my Twitter if you want to know why. Let me see here. Apparently, Mixer is really slow. Just got the notification just now. At least you got a notification. So you can talk about how slow Mixer is, but YouTube doesn't even send out notifications for most of my streams. So I know some of you guys do actually get it, but all right. Hey, something happened. And it's not telling me what. Oh, hey, someone's following. Oh, Uniform 7418 is following over on Mixer. Thank you so much for that follow over there. Let's see here. Oh, I'm not on Twitter. That's okay. You don't have to be on Twitter. Twitter can be all right sometimes. It can also be frustrating at times. Pretty much like any social media network. Retro Gaming Man Cave, YouTube or Twitch? What are you talking about, YouTube or Twitch? What's going on, man? What's that question about? So what if we told you that Nintendo bought the rights to Bambi? I would say you are full of shiitake. Because I don't think Disney would give up those rights. What do you think about Spider-Man being cut out of the MCU and the Sony/Disney split? The thing is, it's not official yet. So a lot of people jumped all over that story, and I kind of responded to the reports out there on Twitter. But it turns out that Sony and Marvel are still in negotiations officially. It never actually collapsed, like people are saying. So like there's all this fear mongering happening right now because they didn't agree on the initial ask by Marvel, and then Sony countered by saying no, we want to keep it the same, but they're actually still in active negotiations. So he's not actually out of the MCU yet. It's just the negotiations leaked. That's all that really happened. And with the negotiations leaking and people seeing that Sony rejected the initial ask by Marvel, everyone's like, oh my gosh, it's over. It's like, no, it's not. They're still negotiating. The official statement from Sony and the official statements from Marvel both say that they are literally still negotiating. So neither are saying that it's split. In addition, Sony would still be making the next two Spider-Man movies starring Tom Holland anyways, because they said they're going to. So like, it would just lose the Marvel connection if the contract didn't go through. But I honestly don't think that's going to happen. I think Marvel and Sony are two companies, well, really Disney and Sony are two companies that really like money. And they realize there is a lot of money to be made with Spider-Man in the MCU, and it is advantageous for both companies to find some common ground. Now, should Sony give up 50% of profits? Absolutely not, because Sony was making way more money with Spider-Man on their own than they would giving up 50% profits, especially when Sony is actually footing the bill. For those who didn't know, Sony actually foots the bill to make these Spider-Man movies. Like Far From Home, Sony footed that bill. So, like, Sony's paying for the movies to be made. It's being made inside Sony's own studios, and Marvel wants a 50% cut. See how it's, like, not really unfair? Sony's basically doing all the work. Marvel just provided a director. But, like, Sony paid for everything and used Sony's equipment and Sony's studio. So, like, it's kind of a raw deal what Marvel was asking of Sony, since Sony's literally doing everything. The benefit that Marvel got is they could make money off merch and obviously make money off including Spider-Man and, like, the Avengers and stuff. And then Sony's benefit was that Spider-Man gets a boost in relevancy by being part of the MCU and hopefully doing better movie sales, and then they make more money that way. That was kind of, it was supposed to be beneficial for both, but now Disney just wants everything, and Sony's like, no. So we'll see what happens. I shouldn't say that they want everything. They want it to be an even split. And Disney apparently offered to actually foot some of the bill for the movies too, and Sony's like, nah, it's all right. So we'll see what happens. You know, they're still in active negotiations. It'll never be 50-50. Sony won't accept it. I think they'll probably come to a common ground. Sound Man say 80-20, where 80 goes to Sony, 20 goes to Marvel. I have a feeling that's going to happen. I mean, the next two Spider-Man movies have already been they're happening. They've already been approved. So it's one of those things where they just need to figure out the negotiation rights on what the revenue split's going to be once the movies come out. So I'm pretty sure that we don't need to worry about Spider-Man leaving the MCU anytime soon. It's just going to be, if anything, the next Spider-Man movie might be delayed as they wait to figure out the negotiations. But I assume they'll have the negotiations done before the end of this year. I can't imagine that either company really wants this to end with them walking away from the partnership. I don't think it financially makes sense for both of them. I think Sony might be willing to give up more than 5%, but I don't know that they're going to come anywhere close to 50. Maybe they'll go up 10%. I don't know. There's no benefit to Marvel to walk away, even at 5%. Even at the what the deal was at 5%, Sony was paying for everything. It cost Marvel nothing. So why would Marvel want to walk away from a free 5% on a movie someone else is making? Like, Disney's not going to walk away from free money. So they'll come to a common ground. I think Disney's trying to flex their muscles a little bit and be like, hey, look, Spider-Man's becoming more relevant because of being in the MCU. So they're trying to kind of flex their muscles, and Sony's like, hey, look, Spider-Man was really popular with us before the MCU, and we paid for these movies to be made inside the MCU. Why would we give you more money? They both actually have a pretty good point in negotiation. So we'll see what happens. I'm not really that concerned about it right now. Everybody over that reported on it blew up because negotiations leaked, but both companies have publicly stated that negotiations are still ongoing. So I don't know what more you really want me to say. It's just some negotiations leaked that are none of our business because the money ain't going to us. So, let's see here. Remember when I made a comment saying not first? I have no idea, Zane Parker. You know how many comments I've read? It's pretty hard for me to remember an individual comment saying not first. When do you think Wind Waker comes to Switch? Wind Waker HD? I think Wind Waker HD and Twilight Princess HD will be packaged together and released next year if Breath of the Wild 2 is not coming next year. Now, if Breath of the Wild 2 is coming next year, I think it'll become the year after. But yeah, it'll come whatever year Breath of the Wild 2 isn't coming. So if Breath of the Wild 2 is coming next year, then it'll come the year after. If Breath of the Wild 2 is coming 2021, then Twilight Princess HD and Wind Waker HD will be packaged together and released next year. That's what I think is going to happen. Let's see here. Which one do you think is better for people starting a live stream or channel in general? What platform? I mean, Twitch or Mixer. Obviously, Mixer has been kind of in the news, with the whole Ninja movie in there and everything. And obviously, Twitch has been kind of being really inconsistent in how Twitch applies their own guidelines. And that's been really bugging people that Twitch is playing favorites. And here's the thing, YouTube does the same thing, and we're all still here on YouTube. So I don't know. I try to stay out of the politics of the whole thing. I just know that I had not seen any growth on Twitch. Granted, I wasn't a dedicated streamer. Here's the way it goes with streaming. Streaming is not what I am. I'm a YouTuber. Streams just happen when I have time to do them. So I don't consider myself a live streamer. Like, I think CND, Alex or whatever, came back and is doing his first stream, and now he's going to be a full-time streamer. That is not my interest. I have zero interest in being a full-time streamer. Or even being like Player Essence, where he does like a YouTube video per day plus like 2 or 3 live streams. I have no interest in being that. So I'm not a live streamer. So I can't tell you how to best grow a live stream audience. All I know is I have not seen any growth on Twitch. Maybe we'll see better luck on Mixer. And if we don't, we don't. It is what it is. I'm not a streamer, so it's not a big deal to me. Let's see here. PS5 dev kit leaked. It's real, and Sony is pissed. That's what I heard. I heard it all from Spawn Wave, so I didn't do my own research on it, but yeah. I mean, I don't know why Sony's mad the dev kit leaked. It's not like there's any specs. Okay, so it looks like a spacecraft. Who really cares? It's a dev kit. Unless the dev kit's gonna match the final design of PlayStation 5, I don't know. Sony, I can understand Sony being mad that someone broke NDA, but like, I don't know. I don't really know why it matters if like something leaked or if like someone confirmed that a leak is a dev kit. Like, okay, who cares? Like, unless they're talking specs, who cares? I don't think it's that big a deal. But obviously Sony disagrees. S. Spencer says, sorry about that, man. Hope things get better for you soon. Yeah, I hope so too. Sony stated it was official. Yes, Spider-Man is out of the MCU, but they're still talking. But they don't agree on a deal now. Sony said Spider-Man was out of the MCU and on Twitter. Let me double check that. Last I checked, Sony, is it Sony Pictures on Twitter? I'm trying to remember. I think it was Sony Pictures. Yeah. So here is Sony's official word on Twitter. It says, much of today's news about Spider-Man has mischaracterized recent discussions of Kevin Feige's involvement in the franchise. We are disappointed, but respect Disney's decision to not have him continue as lead producer for the next live-action Spider-Man film. So the lead producer of the Spider-Man films, Disney has decided to not have him working on Spider-Man in the future. We hope this might change in the future. So they hope that he might come back. But understand that many new responsibilities that Disney has given him, including all their newly added Marvel properties, especially when you look at what's happening with Disney+. Do not allow time for him to work on IP they do not own. Kevin is terrific, and we're grateful for his help and guidance. Appreciate the path he helped. Blah, blah, blah. That's like it. That's the only official statements. I don't know what you're talking about, Zach. Sony hasn't said anything about Spider-Man leaving the MCU. They just said that the producer of the last 2 films won't be producing them anymore because Disney yanked him to put them on other projects. That's not the same thing as Spider-Man's out of the MCU. I'm literally staring at it right now. There's nothing on here saying, hey, Spider-Man's out of the MCU. It's just, no, the producer of them is no longer producing them because Disney put them on other projects. Holy crud. We have a $20 super chat. Bada bing, bada boom. Good time to drop that $20 super chat, Clayton Miller, since right now we don't have an MCN taking money out of that super chat. Woo! Man, I don't even know what it's like to get a full value on a super chat. I've never had a super chat outside of an MCN. Anyways, he says, Nate, forget about Breath of the Wild 2 or Mario Odyssey 2. What about Sonic Forces 2? Just kidding. I want Splatoon 3, Sonic Mania 2, or NES Remix Ultimate. Don't think NES Remix is Ultimate's coming at all because they give those free NES games away, or free on the online service. Sonic Mania 2, I think, is definitely a possibility. Splatoon 3 is going to happen. I just don't think it's happening anytime soon. I think that'll be on like the next gen platform from Nintendo, whatever that is. It could even be a launch game for it. Sonic Forces isn't as bad as people make it out to be. it's an all right game. It's not as bad as people say it is. It's just not as great as people wanted it to be, especially coming off Sonic Mania. Sonic Mania was insane. I know it's a different type of game, but oh man, Sonic Mania was great. But thank you so much for the $20, man. I really appreciate it. What a nice way to bounce back in like one of the I'm Back streams. Although I did a stream I think a week ago, a few days. I don't even know how long ago it was. Let's see here. Let me go back up and see if I missed any other questions. Yeah, Kevin Feige not working with Spider-Man has nothing to do with Spider-Man leaving the MCU. That is a mischaracterization. As Sony themselves said, that's a mischaracterization of what's happening. It's just that Disney moved him to other projects, and Disney doesn't own Spider-Man. So, like, it's got nothing to do with Spider-Man leaving the MCU. It's a massive mischaracterization of what's going on. There is no official statement that Spider-Man's out of the MCU. Nothing official. It's just, hey, look, so the producer's moving on to other projects. Okay? That doesn't mean that things are done. So, it just means they're still in negotiations. And then part of the negotiations leaked about what Marvel was asking and blah, blah, blah. All right, let's see here. Do you think Wind Waker HD will come to Switch? Yes, I already said that. There was a time when Nintendo assumed Disney would give them the rights to an IP. They didn't. This turned into Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong! I've been thinking about how much more powerful Disney has been in the last decade due to buying companies such as Marvel and Fox. Do you think Nintendo should buy a company? Nintendo doesn't make acquisitions often. Obviously, they acquired Retro Studios. They acquired Monolith Soft. They're not usually into making studio acquisitions like Microsoft has been doing. Sony's also participated in doing that. Do I think they should make some acquisitions? I think it would be nice. I think if Platinum Games ever wanted to actually not be an independent company, I think that would be a prime company for Nintendo to plop down some good coin on. But Platinum has no interest in selling, so you can't really force companies to sell. There's NCL. Or whatever that company is out of Canada that does the Luigi Mansion stuff. They basically exclusively make Nintendo exclusive games, but they're not owned by Nintendo at all. And they have no interest being bought out by Nintendo because they want to keep their future options always open. So it's kind of one of those sticky situations there where it'd be cool if Nintendo bought some studios, but do they need to? They already make a ton of games. Nintendo puts out like more games per year than pretty much any other company out there that besides like companies that are crapping out, 15 to 20 mobile games a year. Like Nintendo already puts out more games than everybody else per year. What more do we want them to do? I mean, it'd be cool if they owned a bunch more companies, but I really don't care if they do. And there's always that question of if what Disney is doing in the entertainment medium is even healthy for the entertainment medium. Like, is it good that Disney owns so many properties? That's a very interesting question. There are people that think it's bad. There are some people that say, well, the new Star Wars movies are better than the prequel trilogy, so that's an improvement and blah, blah, blah. Like, okay, sure. I mean, yeah. And you could talk about how the Marvel Cinematic Universe happened because of Disney, and, like, that's great. And obviously, I enjoy Disney, so, like, it's hard for me to really view these things as bad, but there are some people that view it as, man, Disney has a lot of power, and there really isn't anyone close to being able to challenge them. They're not, a monopoly because other entertainment companies do exist, the Netflixes of the world and all that. I can't even say Hulu because Hulu is owned by Fox, so it'll be interesting to see what happens moving forward. But I don't think Nintendo needs to become like Disney. I think that's a little insane to feel like they should just start buying out companies. I don't think exclusive games are a problem for Nintendo. So Microsoft buying a bunch of them, that made sense because they don't have a lot of exclusive games. But Nintendo has a ton. Let's see here. Zane Parker says, how was my day? My day was just fine. Twitch's policies are a lot lower for affiliates, but do you see them changing this? Maybe. I have no idea. Like Mixer's affiliate, for me to become an affiliate and like get ad revenue and stuff, is much higher on Mixer than it is on Twitch. But to be honest, I don't really do the numbers on Twitch to deserve the ad revenue. Like I do get ad revenue on Twitch, but I don't really have anyone that watches on Twitch, so is it really worth it? I don't. It ends up being like a net negative. We got TTT Scruffy Sean watching over on Mixers. So thank you so much for tuning in over there. And Big G Money 260 or 20,060 as well watching over on Mixer. Thank you guys for tuning in on Mixer. I appreciate you guys watching over there. Let's see here. Then, all right, do all Switches on the shelf now have IGZO displays? I have no idea, but I wouldn't be surprised. Rumpel Jantz. It's Rumphol Jantz. RUMPHOL-JANC. I don't really care. My name is fully publicly available like everywhere, so I don't really care if people know it. That would be an awesome channel name. Let's see here. 2008 Disney's market cap was $45 billion, and today it's about $230 billion. I would like Nintendo to try to make a few purchases to expand their brand and maybe get into other media. Well, let's just see how the Mario movie and how these theme parks do. Like, Nintendo's already expanding their brands. I don't think purchasing companies isn't the only way to expand your brand, because they could purchase, say, Platinum Games, and then Platinum Games could never make a great game again because now they don't have that freedom. And because they don't have that freedom, the great games stop, and it becomes a retro studio situation, and the IPs they do have lose value. So, like, what Disney did is they bought failing properties, okay? When they bought Marvel, Marvel had failed over and over and over again to make any headway into TV and comics, or TV and movies, I should say. They failed. Marvel was failing to make headway into that. So when Disney acquired them, Disney obviously is a master at getting into TV shows and movies. So, like, Marvel was failing at something that Disney excels at. Star Wars was failing as a property. It was going down when Disney bought it. Then Disney was able to revitalize it. So the thing is, you would have to see Nintendo purchase someone like Konami, right? And take their IPs and revitalize them. And I don't know that companies like Konami that make so much money off pachinko machines are really interested in selling, and I don't think Nintendo's interested in buying a company that is so invested heavily in gambling. So it's one of those things where Nintendo has to buy failing companies to do what Disney is doing, and they have to buy failing companies where Nintendo has a strength in their weakness. You could argue they should buy Sega so they can like revitalize Sonic, but then what happens to the Total War series by Creative Assembly? That's so excellent, and all this other stuff. Like, there's a lot of things that go into it. Like, if you want Nintendo to become this $200+ billion entity, it has to come through luck and the right acquisitions. Most acquisitions that people would want Nintendo to make don't actually make any financial sense to make and won't increase Nintendo's market value. It would actually decrease Nintendo's market value in some cases. So Disney just saw an opportunity with two major corporations. And then Fox, which, by the way, Fox was on the downfall as well. I don't know if you guys know this. It's not like Disney bought Fox when they were doing their best. Fox was starting to tank when they swooped in. So, like, that's what you have to remember is Disney made smart acquisitions. You don't just buy things to buy things unless you're Microsoft. Like, Nintendo, to do what Disney is doing, took a very unique situation with all three major corporations. And it worked out for them. So, Make It Bacon does 100, what are those things called? 100 Sparks. Thank you so much. It takes a lot of Sparks before I even get $1, but hey, it's free. So thank you so much for the 100 Sparks. I want to play Nintendo on Xbox. There are some people that want that. Some people want to play them on PlayStation 4 as well. I mean, I totally get those desires. Can't blame you. Nintendo has amazing games, and you want them on more powerful systems. I can't get mad about that. Make It Bacon says he wants xCloud on Switch. I think xCloud's going to be everywhere eventually. A recent Microsoft executive in an interview actually said that they want Game Pass to be everywhere. Well, the only way Game Pass can be everywhere is if it's tied into xCloud, which they're planning to do. So it kind of looks like the strategy is that xCloud / Game Pass will be on all devices someday. That includes Switch, PlayStation 5, whatever, as a service. So we'll see what happens. Let me see here. Videos take more than 10 minutes to make. If you take USA made a video a while back, oh, it takes minutes and that's it. You're done. That is not a job. There are some videos that could just take minutes. I wouldn't say 10 minutes because like that could literally be all your recording time. You haven't edited anything yet. But like my video today, probably took me a couple hours. You know, it wasn't like a super intense video. But that's because I had a lot of the layouts already set up. Now this doesn't include the research because I did an hour of research for the video before I made it. So like there's the research and gathering things in a little document and then getting things set up on my screen. But once all that's set up, I literally hit record and then I cut out my mistakes or my flubs or interruptions. And that's it. It was a pretty easy video, but it still took, 2-3 hours to do. For like a more intense video like Prime News is 3 to 4 hours of just recording and editing. So there's like 2 hours of research done on top. It takes 5 hours a day to produce a Prime News episode. That's just reality for me as someone who doesn't have an editor and has to do all the edits myself. The editing takes a long time. The editing can take an hour and a half on its own, sometimes longer than that. And there's always multiple recording sessions, multiple takes on different stories because I made mistakes and because I don't use like a teleprompter with the script. I just kind of have some notes that are kind of in front of me just off camera that I'm glancing at and then like trying to cut out when I'm glancing so it doesn't look like I'm not looking at the camera. And so there's a lot that goes into something like that. But like me sitting down and just talking about one topic, that usually doesn't take as much editing. And that's why those videos are much easier to produce. But it takes more than minutes. I'm sure there's some where people just upload the raw file. I mean, yeah, okay, that took you minutes. It took you however long it took you to record it, and then you uploaded it. Like, if you're just a YouTuber that does that, sure. Like that, I mean, you're not editing, so... Let's see here. Man, a lot of people chatting today. Thank you guys so much for showing up. Let's see here. Zach Currency says the daughter of Stanley, actor who plays Hawkeye, Robert Downey Jr., all said he's out of the MCU. Kevin Feige is the head of Marvel Studios. I know who Kevin Feige is. Okay, I'm well aware of who he is. But those people talking about it don't know anything. Remember, these are the same people that aren't even told how the movies are in end. Yeah, I don't think you understand how close to the vest Marvel keeps things. Negotiations are ongoing. If Spider-Man is ever officially out of the MCU, there will be an announcement about it from Marvel and from Sony. Right now, from what I am being told by people who work at both companies, negotiations have not ended. All that happened is negotiations leaked. Negotiations leaking aren't the same thing as them ending. But what is happening for sure is there are 2 more Spider-Man films happening starring Tom Holland. So like that Spider-Man's already in the MCU, so it's going to be kind of weird to see them not have MCU elements in, especially since this version of Spider-Man's been so tightly tied that way. But what are you going to do? Make It Bacon is now hosting us over on Mixer. Thank you so much for the host. I appreciate that. Let's see here. Have a shot, big dog. It's Friday. I suppose. Let me take a swig off the bottle, huh? I do technically have to work a little bit tomorrow, so I can't get sloshed or anything here. But let me check my phone. It says as soon as my fiance is home, that's the end. All right. Oh, hey, we have a new follower over on Mixer. Thank you so much, abd_gaming. All right, let me hit off that bottle for you quick. Hey, do we have another super chat? First off, cheers, man. Yes, I can have a little alcohol, guys. Relax. I actually gotta get rid of this bottle. So I got like half a bottle in here. We had a $5 super chat from Thomas Maynard. He says, you bringing up Disney reminds me that I can't wait to go to Disney World and go to the Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. Yeah, especially when the full thing opens when it's finished. It'd be pretty cool. I don't know if I'll ever even get to see they're gonna build a new Marvel like Avengers home base land kind of thing, and I don't know if I'm ever gonna get to see these things because it's so expensive for me to go there. But who knows? Maybe. That one's for you, Thomas. Thank you so much for the $5. All right. Man, we got a lot of people here in the chat. Still going at it. Let me see here. Disney does own Spider-Man. Sony just owns the film rights. Yes, I know. Obviously, Disney owns Spider-Man because Marvel owns Spider-Man and they own Marvel. But Sony owns the film rights, and that's important when it comes to this stuff. Obviously, they could still do things like merchandise. They could still do comic books and stuff. That's not really what we were talking about, though. We were talking about the movies. Next Level Games is based in Vancouver. That's who I was thinking of. Next Level Games, right? They're the ones that do all the Luigi's Mansion stuff. I would think competition would take over it. Maybe. I feel like Nintendo needs to put out more games. It enriches their brand so much. Why haven't they gone the way of Sega yet? And Mario doesn't hurt. Nintendo puts out so many games. Like, how much more games does Nintendo need to put out? Like, holy crap, guys. You know how many games Nintendo publishes every year? It's insane. I can't imagine them, like, publishing more than they already do. Hulu is 60% owned by Disney. Yeah, I know. That basically means they own it. When you own a majority of a company, it basically means you own the company. Because whatever you say goes. Because you own the majority of the shares. That's what happens when you have a majority. It's called majority ownership is what it is. Basically, it means you own the company. Because there's not enough shares with anyone else to stop what you want to do. And you know how big of a deal it is, because for $12.99, you can get Disney Plus and Hulu now packaged together in the future. So, like, and that's only happening because, hey, Disney basically owns Hulu. Disney holding the Star Wars property is under the stranglehold EA has on Star Wars games, in my opinion. Yeah, when they got the Star Wars property, it came, well, really all the LucasArts properties. It came at a time that kind of sucked because there hadn't really been any super successful Star Wars games in a long time. And Disney themselves had literally just stopped making video games internally. Like the studio that made Epic Mickey and Epic Mickey 2, and like they shut down all that stuff. And it was kind of a bad culmination of timing of when they bought the Star Wars and other LucasArts IPs and when Disney themselves stopped making video games. So they outsourced it to EA because EA probably brought the most money to the table. For being completely honest, it's always about money for those exclusivity contracts. And EA obviously knows what they're doing when it comes to making games in a way. But EA also saw it as we can maximize profits situation. Because, of course, that's what EA looked at it as. And so far, it hasn't really worked out. But you know what? Maybe, what is it, The Fallen Jedi, The Last Jedi, whatever it's called? That new Star Wars game coming out. I mean, it's looked really good so far. I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop and we find out that they're doing something crappy with it. But hasn't happened yet. We got a $10 super chat in from Thomas Maynard, hitting us hardcore. Cheers, man. So I'm not telling you how to spend your vacation money. But if you, in the midst, decide to take the kids to Disney sometime, I can hook you up with my travel agent to save me $1,000 on a trip. Cool. Yeah, thanks so much, man. Well, think about it. My parents have a travel agent as well. So does my grandmother. If we ever decide to do that kind of trip, we'll probably shop around and figure it out. I think the next major trip will probably end up being me and the fiance's honeymoon. And because we think we want to either go on a cruise or do like a 3-day cruise and then stop and stay for the last 4 days in Hawaii and then fly back. And we'll have to figure out some travel agents and discounts to make all that happen. But that's so far in the future right now that I'm not even thinking about it too much because I'm just worried about paying my bills now, not worried about, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 trip here. Let's see here. This is just some flavored water. That's what I'm actually drinking. This is just like when people do super chats or donations because I gotta get rid of the bottle. I'm not supposed to have a ton of rum chata. But that's alright. We're good right now. Let's see here. Fallen Jedi. Sorry, Last Jedi. That's a movie. Fallen Jedi. There you go. All right. Let me scroll back up here and see what questions I missed. Let's see here. Thanks, Mark Greenberg, for the welcome back. I know, I try to read the whole chat. Big G Money over on Mixer says, why is Disney making live action remakes of all their movies? Because they can, and people are going to watch it, and they're going to make a lot of money because of it. Is it true that Mario Sunshine is coming to Switch? There is actually, this is from Make It Bacon over on Mixer. There is no actual proof that Mario Sunshine is coming to Switch. People are just looking at a tweet from Nintendo and inferring something from it that cannot be proven unless it gets announced. It could literally be a completely innocent tweet for the end of summer with some references to prior Mario games, because Mario Odyssey is also referenced in that tweet. Or it could be a hint at something in the future. You don't know. We don't know. It could be an announcement, could not be an announcement. We have no actual evidence one way or another. So, just speculation at this point. Let's see here. Thomas Maynard. First time I've seen you since your heart attack. Glad you're okay. I'm alive. And I guess okay is a good way to describe it. Happiness-wise, I'm very happy. I feel like I'm like the luckiest person on earth. Not just to be alive and to have my 3 beautiful children, and we have a dog now. I think it's the first time I said anything publicly about that on the channel. I have a dog now. His name is Link. He is sleeping right now, or I would go get him. He's just a little puppy, but he's gonna be a big dog. It's a Lab and Great Dane mix, so he's gonna be huge. He's gonna be like, God, he'll walk up the streams and like his head will be like here on me. He's gonna be a big dog. But if he wasn't sleeping right now, I'd have you guys meet him. All right, we have a $5 super chat from Clayton Miller. Finish the rum chata for Aaron Rodgers. He will run the table this year. Go Pack Go and Zoombucks. Oh man, wouldn't that be great? I'm a little nervous about the Packers this year, but I like our defense. The defense looks pretty good. Cheers, man. Yeah, the bottle is like right here. It's like literally half gone. And once this bottle's gone, I won't be having rum chata again for a long time. It's the cream and stuff in it. I'm not supposed to have that with my heart. But, no sense in wasting the booze. As long as I'm not like chugging on this bottle every day, I'll be all right. And I won't be drinking again for a while, so. I'm actually supposed to have a couple drinks every day, but I don't think I'm supposed to be chugging off the bottle. Don't worry, guys. I'll make sure I'm safe. If anything starts feeling funky in here, I'll just stop. It's not a big deal. I'll be all right. Let me see here. The Switch Lite is $179 on Amazon. Yeah, I heard that. I heard that it's $20 off on Amazon. That's pretty cool. So it hasn't even come out yet, and it's already $20 cheaper there. I think that is awesome. Let me scroll back up here. Big G Money over on Mixer says, are you excited for the new Zelda game that's in production? Am I excited for the new Zelda game that's in production? Someone find me the link to my reaction to Breath of the Wild 2 being announced, and I will link it to him on Mixer. I'm too busy right now to look it up myself, but just watch that video. I don't need to say anything else. Let's see here. Mark Grimmer says he pissed about MCU Spider-Man. I want him back. He might come back to the MCU. Again, we don't really... Nothing is completely finalized, so we'll see what happens. I'm not going to even think about it until an official announcement is made that he will not be returning. Breath of the Wild 2 hype! Make it bacon with another 100, what is those, sparks over there, which might be like a penny. I don't even know how sparks work yet. How many sparks you need for $1. I think it's like 12,000 or something. I can't remember. It's some insane amount. Ultimate Keymasters here says, Sup Nate, just got off work and I thought I was about to have a cherry Pepsi, only to realize that blueberry Pepsi. Blueberry Pepsi's a thing? Man, I don't drink soda anymore and blueberry Pepsi's a thing? You gotta be kidding me. Maybe I'll have to treat myself on a cheat day. Let's see here. To be fair, Disney revitalized Star Wars and then ran it into the ground. Some of the Star Wars films have still been all right. I don't think any of them have been as bad as the prequel trilogy yet. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just happy that Star Wars is at least decent now. Let's see here. I remember when everyone thought Nintendo bought Sonic because articles said Nintendo was publishing Sonic Lost World. Oh, jeez. Yeah, people are nuts. They overread into things a lot. As much as defending the corporation, it makes sense for Disney to demand more when it was there doing that propped Spidey back up. I'm gonna kind of leave that one alone. Ultimate Keymaster, because if you actually look at the financials for Spider-Man films, you will see that it's arguable that Sony made more money off Spider-Man before the MCU ones came about. And you got to remember, this is all about money. So Sony can look at it as, sure, you're making Spider-Man more relevant, but we made more money without you. So we don't need you to make more money. So why would we give you more money when we're only agreeing to do this because we're hitting certain revenue thresholds that we can hit without you? I know it's easy to look at the Amazing Spider-Man and be like, but it's crushing the Amazing Spider-Man. Yeah, but 100% of profits went to Sony. Like, there was no revenue split there. So, and then you look at things like Welcome to the Spider-Verse. Like, that's entirely Sony. 100% of profits go to Sony. Like, it's crazy. So, there's a lot of things to consider in all of this. And for Sony and Disney, it's all about the money. It's all about the money. So you got to understand it from both sides. You know, I know you don't want to side with the corporation. I don't want to either. I'm not saying that Marvel and Disney don't have a right to ask for more. But you also have to understand from Sony's side, like, why would we give you more when we make more money without you? Because they do. They just factually do. Sony makes more money without Marvel helping them. So, where do you get this info? Star Wars was failing before Disney bought them. Well, did you see the prequel? Did you see the prequel? Just go look at the prequels. They're not good movies. I'm sorry if you enjoy the prequels. Episodes 1, 2, and 3. If you really enjoy episodes 1, 2, and 3, I'm sorry, but in my opinion, they're terrible movies. Let alone terrible Star Wars movies. So when I talk about Star Wars was going down, that's what I mean. That's where Star Wars was. At the end of episode 3, to me, that's where Star Wars left off. I know there's a whole book universe and comic universe and TV shows and cartoons and all this crazy stuff that might have been doing okay. But everybody knows the primary episodes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, those are what mattered the most. And episodes 1, 2, and 3 are a stain on the franchise, in my opinion. And because of that, to me, Star Wars went from like being one of the biggest things in entertainment to just nosediving, in my opinion, because the movies were just that terrible. And then Lucas, his George Lucas's plans for Episode 7 apparently were so horrible that when Disney bought Star Wars, they took a look at his script for Episode 7, and they just ripped it up and threw it in the trash. That's how bad it was. And remember, he was the one that primarily took care of 1, 2, and 3. And people forget that in 4, 5, and 6, A New Hope, through what was it? Return of the Jedi. Like through those 3 movies, Empire Strikes Back. Lucas gets a lot of credit, which he deserves, but he wasn't alone in that story writing. But for episodes 1, 2, and 3, it was basically just him, and those were the worst movies. So there's a lot to consider on who might have been the real. Like, look it up sometime. There's actually some fascinating documentaries out there about who the real talent is that made Star Wars relevant, and how it might not have been George Lucas. But I don't really want to get into that because I do think George Lucas does deserve a lot of credit. But it's very interesting when you start diving deep into why A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi were so revered, and what really made those movies great behind the scenes. Not just obviously having an amazing, acting crew, which, I mean, let's just be honest, there's pretty good actors on that group. Let's see here. Marvel Phase 4 will be an utter disaster. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm not going to say it's a disaster until we really dive into Phase 4, which hasn't even really begun just yet. I know some talked about how, like the Spider-Man film was kind of like the first like transition to Phase 4, but you could also view the Spider-Man film as also like the end of the first of Phase 3 if you really want. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with the Black Widow movie and all the other movies coming. We'll see I'm not going to judge how Phase 4 is going to go. Now you also have to consider all the stuff that's happening on Disney Plus and what part of that's going to be part of the MCU. And it's going to be crazy. There's going to be a lot of stuff happening. So we'll see what happens. It could be amazing. It could be even better, or it could be worse. It will be milked. That's for sure. They're going to milk the hell out of it. But they've been milking the hell out of it. So. Let's see here. Did you see my comment on your video? Which one, Mitchell Clapper? Which one? I wonder what happened when Disney went bankrupt. Disney's so far away from going bankrupt. Wisconsin Prime. I know who that is. Wisconsin Prime. Corey Bohm, thank you so much for your $5 donation. Delicious. Just had kettle-cooked honey dill potato chips for the first time. That does actually sound pretty good. I do like dill potato chips, so honey dill that are kettle-cooked. That's probably delicious. I don't really have a lot of chips anymore. My diet changes preclude me from having a lot of that stuff, but doesn't mean I can't try it, of course. Just can't eat a whole bag or something. Let's see here. You have a really good voice. Well, thank you, Tariq. I assume I must have an okay voice, because if I didn't have an okay voice, I don't think anyone would watch my videos. Imagine watching someone's videos on YouTube that their voice just annoys you the whole time. Like, why would you torture yourself like that? Doesn't make any sense. Final Fantasy VIII is digital only. Did you hear about that? I did not. I mean, it doesn't bother me, but it is what it is. It's an older game, so it doesn't really matter to me that it's digital only. I'm just glad it's coming at all. After we haven't really had I think there's ever been a re-release of Final Fantasy VIII. So I'm just thankful we have a re-release coming. Let's see here. Take it on easy on the Aoki. Yeah, don't worry, Came out the Great. I know what's up. Don't worry about it. I'm good. There will not be getting any drunko tonight. Trust me, not even buzzed. A beer would look awesome on me. Well, thanks. My fiance doesn't really want me having a beard. She doesn't mind this though. The 5 o'clock shadow, this kind of thing, apparently doesn't bother her. She told me it bothered her for years. Now she's saying actually it doesn't look that bad. But I actually during this break had my beard grow out a little bit while I was camping, and she didn't like it. And to be fair, I didn't like it either because it's really itchy. Granted, if you keep letting it grow out, a lot of that itchiness goes away. I mean, you'll still have an itch here or there, but I don't really care. I like shaving it because it makes me look a little younger anyways. Do I recommend A Link Between Worlds? A Link Between Worlds is an amazing game, so why would I not recommend it? It's awesome. I love that game. Played the hell out of it. I beat it 3 times, I think. Nintendo makes plenty of games right now. What are y'all talking about? Right, Mark, dude? They make so many games. I don't know how people can feel like they're not making enough games. Well, yeah, Nintendo only owns 10% of the Seattle Mariners. They used to own the majority, but they sold it off. Really, the only person who cared about it was the founding family, and I think they just kept 10% out of respect. Otherwise, I think Nintendo would honestly sold all of it because they don't care anymore about the baseball or anything. But especially like a failing, like Seattle Mariners have not been good in a long time. What am I drinking? Just taking a few swigs of the rum chata when we get some bigger donations and super chats. Let's see here. Carrot juice. No, this isn't carrot juice. This is just, as I said, just flavored water. Let's see here. Tomorrow comes random Saturday launch. Jeez. Let's see here. What kind of dog did I get? I already talked about it before, but I got a Lab Great Dane mix. He's only like 9 weeks old. So he's a little puppy still. Make It Bacon asked, does anyone else have their copy of Witcher 3 pre-installed? So I guess I'll ask all you guys on YouTube. Anyone got Witcher 3 pre-installed on Switch? I don't. If you check my Twitter, you'll know why. What's the alcohol percentage on this? It's pretty low. It's only 13.75, which is that's pretty low for, like a bottle of booze. Like beer is obviously really low, but 13.75%. So it's not that bad. Let's see here. How about those Cardinals? Tenor, I think we've already gotten heavy proof of Fire Emblem Three Houses beating the living heck out of the 3DS games by now. Just to double check all of the sales news. It's not beating the living heck out of it in Japan, but it appears like it's dominating everywhere else. But I don't really have any sales data. I'm just going to kind of wait till Nintendo announces the sales data at the next quarterly meeting, because I'm not really sure. It's hard because Nintendo doesn't give numbers anywhere else. So, like, we get some numbers out of Japan, but that's it. We don't get numbers anywhere else. So we're just kind of, like, hearing things and hearing what some people are saying who have access to the reports. And it's like, okay, well, what are the numbers? Nobody is telling you the numbers. So let's just wait and see what happens. Will you wake up tomorrow and hear breathing and licks? Link is waking you up. Nope. We kennel train him. So, like, right now he's sleeping, but he's sleeping in the kennel. So... we kennel train. That's just my personal belief in kennel training. When he's older, he probably won't sleep in the kennel at night when he's fully trained. But right now, we're potty training and kennel training, so he learns not to go potty at night and to try to get better at holding it for the morning. I show you my Breath of the Wild playtime. I couldn't, even if I wanted to. If you want to know why, check my Twitter at twitter.com/NintyPrime. Blueberry Pepsi does sound amazing. Let's see here. The dog game at the Indies World presentation looked inappropriate. I didn't feel like anything looked inappropriate personally, but you can take it how you want. How much do those prequels make? I can't remember. There's an official listing, box office listing anyways, for those prequels somewhere. I'm sure they made a lot. I mean, the Star Wars name alone, you're going to make a pretty decent amount of money. How is Astral Chain going to be? I think Astral Chain is going to be amazing, BJ Holloman. Are you going to Green Bay in 2 weeks? Have fun, man. Green Bay is a lot of fun, especially if you're a sports fan. You know what's funny about agendas? So, like, I see that Brendan Stryker doesn't like, the agenda pushing. You know what's funny about the agenda pushing? And this is just maybe my personal take on this stuff. Well, it is my personal take. I can't represent anyone else's thoughts on this. When you stop caring about agendas, you stop noticing that agendas are being pushed on you in the first place. And then you just enjoy the movies for what they are. Like, if it wasn't for the internet, like, let's just pretend that the internet did not exist. And all we did was just get the movies and got to just enjoy the films for what they are. Imagine that we didn't have all these, like basically imagine it's the 90s, all right? And we just get the movies. We don't have all this crap. We read a review here and there out of the local newspaper. We wouldn't even be aware the agendas exist. And if you're not aware the agendas exist and you just enjoy the films for what they are, suddenly the agendas don't bother you. The problem is that people make such a big deal out of people's different agendas. I don't care what your agenda is. Like, here's my thing. Like, if Marvel and Disney have a general agenda for Star Wars or a general agenda for whatever, some Marvel movies, if you have a personal agenda in the things you do in life, and I have a personal, I mean, we all have agendas, all things that we want life to go, beliefs we want to push upon, like my children, stuff like that. Like we all have agendas, but like I don't care what yours is. I don't care what theirs is. I don't care what anybody else's agenda is but my own. If they want to do what they want to do and they have the power to do it, then do it. Okay. I just don't care. I literally do not care. And the moment you stop caring about other people's agendas is the moment that I find you just enjoy the internet and you enjoy life a lot more. Like you go on the internet and I just start rolling my eyes when I see all these complaints about agenda this and agenda that. Well, I'm like, you have agendas too. We all do. So like, I just don't care. Like, life is so, like, here's the thing, and maybe this is just because I had that heart attack, 3 weeks ago. Yeah, 3 weeks ago to 3 weeks ago to this very day. Actually, I had my heart attack. It really put life in perspective, where you just don't care what other people's agendas are anymore. Like the most important thing in my life isn't movies and video games and politics and religion. And I mean, religion I guess still has a little bit of importance for me, but all this other stuff is like second. Like the most important thing in my life right now is my kids and my fiance and my dog. Obviously other family members as well, but like those are like my immediate family, and then everyone, my parents and everyone else is kind of surrounding all that. Everything else in comparison is just whatever. Like, okay, cool. So Disney has an agenda. So does Kotaku. So does IGN. So does your favorite YouTuber. Whether they can admit to it or not, I have an agenda as a YouTuber. We all have agendas. So, like, I just don't care what other people's agendas are. I just care about my life. And maybe that makes me a crappy person for just caring about my life, but they don't negatively impact my life. Like, okay, so there's an agenda with like Captain Marvel or I really don't care. It doesn't negatively impact my life. So it really doesn't impact my life at all. What negatively impacts your life is when you're so focused on what that agenda is and like getting angry about it. That anger that you are giving yourself by getting upset about it is what negatively is impacting your life. The agenda existing isn't really like a negative thing. How you react to it is really what makes it a negative. So I look at control what I can control. And what I can control is, do I enjoy the movie or not? Do I enjoy the show or not? Okay, if I don't, okay, whatever. If I do, cool. But I'm not going to like not enjoy something because there's an agenda or enjoy something because there's an agenda. I really don't care. I'm just going to watch the films and watch the stuff and read the comics. And if I like it, I like it. And if I don't, I don't. It's not the end of the world. People get so passionately upset about other people's agendas. And it's like, who gives a shit? Like what you want to see happen with this film or that comic, that's your priorities and your agenda. Like, this is what they want to see happen. And they might have these reasons you disagree with, but who gives a shit? Unless they're out there murdering and sexually harassing people, who gives a flying fuck? Like, do what you want, man. Like, we all only live once. Like, if that's what they want to do, cool. You don't have to watch the movies. It's all right. Like, no one's twisting your arm. It's cool. Like, oh no, this thing was ruined for me. Who cares? It's just entertainment. Move on. You know how many other entertaining things there are in this world? I'm not saying that you can't be upset, that you can't be critical at times. That's fine. But like, don't get to the point where you are personally angry and like feeling anger. It's just not worth it. It's just entertainment. Like, be critical and move on. I don't know. That's just me. Just my new look at life. It's like, who gives a shit? Who cares? Just be you and enjoy what you enjoy and don't like what you don't like and move on. Let's see here. How much do you think Star Wars would benefit from splitting? Oh, SWS. What's SWS? I don't know what SWS is. Oh, you're talking about their studios, SIE. Yeah, I don't know. I have no comments on that. I don't know enough about. I haven't paid enough attention to Sony's financials to know how everything works. on that front for individual studios and stuff. To be honest, there are people saying it was there with The Last Jedi, and I followed things like that for a while. I generally didn't see anything. Okay. Have you seen Sony's new stupid box thing in 2008? I have no idea what you're talking about. If you're talking about the PlayStation 5 leak, like, yeah, I saw that, but that's just a dev kit. Who really gives a crap what the dev kit looks like? You're missing the point. Good storytelling is being sacrificed for the sake of agenda pushing. How is... I care about the stories of Star Wars. Yeah, that's not what I said. What if I told you that the good storytelling happened because the person who wrote the story and their agenda aligned with what you like? There is not a single story that's ever been written where the person writing the story didn't have an agenda. If you actually look up what an agenda is, every story that's ever been written has an agenda. Every single one of them. So, like, the difference is the internet exists, for starters. So it's being pointed out to you. And two, you just don't like the direction that the movie took because of that particular agenda. But a completely different agenda might have made you agree with the direction of the story. So, like, it's this big funny thing in the world when we start complaining. Like, it's like people think that these agenda things are new. Like, the original Star Wars trilogy, A New Hope, had an agenda. Like, they all had an agenda. You just agreed with the agenda. So you thought the agenda made for a story you enjoy. What if I told you that the agendas in some of these films that you don't like, that are ruining the stories, other people love? That's the you can't please everyone kind of thing. I don't know what to tell you. This is why I don't think it's worth getting upset. It's not worth me being upset that you're upset. Like, I just don't think it's worth being upset about. It's like, okay, so you don't like it. Okay, cool. Like, cool. Go back and watch the ones you do enjoy. It's not like the good Star Wars movies that you enjoy, went away. Go watch them. It's cool. Just think Star Wars ended after the Last Jedi or whatever. Or not the Last Jedi. Return of the Jedi or whatever, right? Star Wars ended there for you. Okay, cool. Then it's done. Ignore everything else if you don't like it. I ignore the original episodes 1, 2, and 3. I hate episodes 1, 2, and 3, so I just ignore them and pretend they don't exist. I just don't care. I don't let those films ruin the enjoyment of the rest of the series for me. But that's me. I just don't care. Like, it's whatever, Yeah, would it be nice if I loved every single movie? Sure, but I don't, and it's okay. It's okay. I don't have to love every movie. Not every movie has to be made for me. I'm fine. I'm cool. No, Nate, bottom line is I just don't want politics and agendas in my Star Wars. And it's always been there in Star Wars. I'm done. Now I'm just getting upset over something that's completely irrelevant. There's always been an agenda in politics in Star Wars. Literally, it's right there in A New Hope. I don't know what to tell you. You just agreed with the agenda and the politics at the time. That's the only difference. The only difference is you agreed with it then. And it wasn't pointed out to you on the internet. Internet didn't exist. Well, it didn't exist in a popular form with the public. And nobody pointed it out to you. And you probably agree with it anyways. People. It's almost like people don't understand what an agenda is. Literally every story ever told has an agenda. So it's based on the writer's thoughts and opinions and feelings and what they want to convey. It's all an agenda. It's always been an agenda. It's just whether or not you like it or not. Man. So that blueberry Pepsi is pretty good. Let's see here. Anyone? Oh, yeah. So I'm guessing nobody has Witcher 3 installed. Pre-installed, I should say. Master como estas? Muy bien, gracias, y tú? Don't get me going because I don't actually know that much Spanish. Literally, that's like Spanish. It's like Spanish 101. But I hardly remember any of it. Estoy bien, gracias. Yo quiero Taco Bell. That's from a commercial, but still. I actually don't want Taco Bell. Same, I could feel the 7th to 12th grade Spanish. I was only literally in it for one semester, so. Someone is speedrunning Battle for Bikini Bottom. Cool. Next topic. It's a Q&A, so the topics are what people bring up. And right now, nothing else has really been brought up, except for Knuckles talking in Spanish. And I don't really read Spanish or speak it, so. Puedo ir al baño. That's another phrase I know. It's got nothing to do with anything. More info on Metroid. I don't have anything else to say on Metroid. There isn't any more info that I have, anyways. I guess one thing I could bring up, I mentioned this on Twitter. This is something I am willing to talk about. The other thing I don't want to talk about because I think it brings up too much drama. At least I think it'll be dramatic. So that's why I don't want to bring it up. But this other thing's not as dramatic. This is more of a thinking process I'm going through. And I've gone through this process before and nothing happened. So nothing might happen again. But I've been debating on changing the name of this channel. Nintendo Prime isn't a good name. It never was a good name. It literally has a copyrighted trademarked word in its name, and I can't register it as a business with Nintendo because it's just against the law. So I'm kind of in this point where I want a more unique name. But, like, I don't know if I want the name to necessarily be, like, Gaming Prime or anything like that. And, by the way, I can't use Gaming Prime. That's already a YouTube channel. Or something like that. Because, like, I want freedom with the channel. We're always going to be focused on Nintendo. Nintendo is always going to be front and center and be the primary thing I cover. That's not going to change. But there might be times when I want to upload a video about my kids and my family or like a vlog or something, right? And that would be completely out of place on this channel. There's a time that I want to talk about like the PlayStation 5 stuff, and that would be completely out of place in this channel. There's times I want to live stream playing Madden on PC, and that would be completely out of place on this channel. So like I want a channel that opens up those avenues to me. Some people might say just have a second channel, but like I'm not going to make enough content to support a second channel. It's just not going to happen. So I kind of want to open the channel up to having the possibility to do more. I might never do more. I might only ever do Nintendo content. And there might never be anything but Nintendo content. But having a name that separates myself from that, I think would be nice. Kind of like what Game Explain. I mentioned this in today's video. Game Explain, they don't have a name that's intrinsically tied to Nintendo. The reputation's tied to Nintendo, but the name isn't. And so now they're starting to cover things from PlayStation 4, PC, Xbox, etc. And they're able to do that because the name of the channel itself isn't like this is a Nintendo channel. It's a gaming channel that happened to be covering Nintendo exclusively for some time. And I kind of want to do that with this channel. I kind of want to open it up to just be. I want to not be afraid to make a video. If there's a type of video I want to make, if there's something I want to do, I want to just do it. If I want to sing a song to my kids and upload it on my channel, I just want to do it without fear of it being something that would be strange for the channel. If I want to, have a rambling series like Boogie has, where he talks about his life or whatever, I want to do it and have it not feel like it doesn't belong on this channel. If I want to you know, stream the launch of PlayStation 5 and Xbox or something. I want to do it and have it not feel out of place on this channel. I want to have more freedom. And I feel like with the name Nintendo Prime, there is no freedom. You are a Nintendo YouTuber, cut and dry, nothing else you can do but Nintendo. And I don't like that. And I understand changing the name and the branding and doing a wider variety of content. It might cause me to lose subscribers for a little while. But let's just be honest, it's not like the channel's blowing up anyways, right? Like, this is the worst year of growth we've had since I changed to Nintendo Prime. So, like, it's not like the channel's blowing up anyways. So, instead of me focusing so much on trying to create the content I think will grow the channel, why don't I just make the content I want to make? And then the channel will be what it is. And I honestly think you end up with better quality content anyways, because I'm just making what I want to make, regardless of if it's Nintendo or if it's something else. Like, if I'm just making the content that makes me happy, then you should end up with a higher quality product and more passion, and ultimately enjoy the channel more. And that hopefully will lead to its own type of growth at some point. But I don't know. Again, I've talked about this before, but I've never actually made the change. So, thoughts are always appreciated. My comment was to change the name to Nate's Place. I mean, like, Player Essence suggested M Prime. Of course, a few other people did too. And, like, I don't know about M Prime. Like, I understand that could mean Nintendo Nate or whatever. Like, I get it, but, like, I even thinking about changing, like, the avatar of the channel to my face. Let me put it that way. I mean, the bomb logo will still be the overall logo, but kind of make the identity more me than, like, a Nintendo symbol thing, right? But I don't know. I haven't really come up with a name I like that much. You know, Nate Prime has been one obviously that's been out there. But like, I haven't really come up with a one that I like. Wisconsin Prime. I know, Corey Bo. It's not going to be Wisconsin Prime because then you limit your audience to Wisconsin. Thoughts on live streaming Detroit Become Human or something different and new? That'd be a great game to rebrand with. I don't own the system or the game to do that with, but I mean, the idea is I can stream whatever I want, do whatever I want, talk about whatever I want. That guy Eric knows. Eric's friend. Just call it Eric's friend. Who's Eric? It's okay. You don't have to know. I'm his friend. Why is the bomb the logo anyways? I had a guy who was making logos. He gave me a whole bunch of different options, and I chose that one because I liked it. I still like it. Why do I hate your name idea? What was your name idea? Nate's Place? I didn't say I hate it. I just haven't found one I fell in love with. Okay, my fiance's home, so that's the end of the stream. Thank you guys so much. We had the $5 donation from Corey earlier. Thank you so much. Super chats. We had $20 from Clayton, 5 from Thomas, 10 from Thomas, and then 5 from Clayton Miller. So 25 total from Miller, 15 from Thomas. Thank you guys so much for that. I appreciate it. You guys have been awesome. Thank you for making me feel all welcome coming back to the stream. We are now free of the MCN, so yay, those super chats. A majority of that money now comes to me, which is awesome. Screw you, MCNs. I shouldn't really say that. BBTV wasn't terrible to me, but my suspicions are they're taking a lot of money from me that they don't need to be. So, all right. See you guys later. Peace out.